and recaptured multiple times as well. In fact, after the intense heat wave in May 2023, Mukhi had to be taken care of by the Kuno staff, and as a consequence, it was rejected by its mother. So it was hand-raised all this while missing out on the crucial lessons that its mother would have probably taught so it can successfully live in the wild. As of today, there are about 27 cheetahs in India, including 16 cubs. Now, with the latest addition, the total cub count has reached 21. All of these cheetahs remain in the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh, but 3 of them have been recently translocated to the Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh. In another recent development, Botswana has announced that it will gift 8 cheetahs to India to continue this multi-crore project. The cheetahs have been sent to the quarantine facility in Botswana and will soon be airlifted to India. Remember, the aim of this big multi-crore wildlife experiment is to revive the population of cheetahs in India. The target is to attain a meta population of at least 60 to 70 cheetahs in the next 25 years.
They spark conversations, shape opinions. But who will stand invincible? And the nominations for the Indian of the Year 2025 influencer are Raj Shamani, Kamya Jani, Khan Sir, Parul Gulati, Revant Himmat Singh. Who will be the influencer of the year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18 Indian of the Year.
Hello and welcome. Good evening. You're watching CNN News 18. This is Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. There's lots lined up for you on this edition, but let's get you started with the headlines. United NDA front in a show of strength during Nitish Kumar's oath-taking ceremony in Bihar. While the opposition is in complete disarray, Gandhis make final call, say India bloc is over. Supreme Court rules constitutional courts can't fix deadlines for presidents or governors to act on bills, says must adopt dialogue. Supreme Court views excerpts of Delhi riots accused Sharjeel Imam's speech, which was reportedly provocative. Appearing for Delhi police, the ASG maintained that the speeches indicated the protests had violent intent. New revelations regarding Al-Falah University now emerged. Terrorist Mirza Shadab Beg, who carried out the Ahmedabad and Gorakhpur serial blasts, had studied at the same varsity. Crackdown on terror continues. State investigating agencies raids Kashmir Times office in Jammu, recover cartridges for AK-47 and pistols. Fresh Gen Z protests rock Nepal. Curfew imposed in Bara district bordering Bihar. And CNN News 18 shatters viewership records by dominating election week coverage. We thank our viewers for their trust in us. A shocking development has emerged in the investigation of the 2008 Ahmedabad blast case, with reports suggesting that one of the accused terrorists had studied at the Al-Falah University, the same university which has now been linked with 3 doctors turned terrorists as far as the 10/11 Delhi blast case goes. Shadab Beg, an alleged member of the Indian Mujahideen and accused in attacks in both Ahmedabad and Gorakhpur blast, was reportedly connected to the Al-Falah University. According to previous investigation by law enforcement agencies, Beg had completed his B.Tech from this university in 2007. The development comes even as Al-Falah University continues to be under scrutiny and at the center of the 10/11 investigation. Information now trickling in that NIA has got 10-day custody of all accused, all 3, Dr. Shaheen, Dr. Adil, Dr. Muzammil, 3 doctors that were linked with the Al-Falah University, and the Imam, who was believed to be the one who indoctrinated these individuals. All of them have now been granted 10-day further custody for the NIA for custodial interrogation. Ananya, my colleague, joins us, getting us more details. Ananya, what else transpired in court?
Well, absolutely. In fact, these are the people who were at the forefront of this white-collar terror module and in fact they were in the custody of the Jammu and Kashmir police earlier, and now the National Investigation Agency had sought 15 days of police custody remand after arresting them in the Red Fort blast case, and now 10 days of police custody remand has been granted. The agency has told the court categorically that they need to unearth this sinister plot and to know as to whether more people were actually involved into this sinister plan, and how and what was the actual plan, because the blast that happened in Red Fort seems to be a one that was carried out in panic, but the plan was much larger, because the arresting of Jashir alias Danish also showed that how he was a drone expert. He was actually called in for in fact creating rocket type structures so as to carry out precision blast. Just like a Hamas model. So very clearly at this juncture, these three people who remain at the forefront of this white collar module, and that particular imam who is said to be one that had indoctrinated these people, needs to be questioned, needs to be quizzed by the National Investigation Agency. Since a 10-day police custody remand has been granted, they might be taken somewhere. That also is on the cards of the National Investigation Agency. They might be confronted with the other accused persons as well. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out and what actually do they reveal as far as this investigation goes on in the future.
Now, these three accused will obviously give more information as to whether there are any loose links that still need to be tied up as far as the larger nexus is concerned, and that's what will be looked into next. Arunima also joins us, getting us those details. Arunima, even as the investigating agencies are unearthing if there is a larger nexus of this so-called sleeper cell, how far and wide across the country it's spread, Al-Falah University continues to still be at the center of it all.
Oh, absolutely. And now the worry is that whether Al-Falah was knowingly acting as a headquarter of all the sleeper cells. Why is that concerned? Because an old dossier of Delhi Police's special cell on Indian Mujahideen has resurfaced, where this Indian Mujahideen operative, who was also from Azamgarh, who was a close associated of Atif Amin, who was killed at the Batla encounter, Shadab's linkages have been found with Al-Falah as well. As per this dossier, Shadab, went to Al-Falah, completed his BTech degree, and after that he was applying for government jobs. He was also applying for private sector jobs in Delhi NCR till he turned rogue. And he went and picked up explosives for Indian Mujahideen from Karnataka. He then contacted the other members of the module, all of whom were from Azamgarh, known to him from their school days. And this operative of Indian Mujahideen has been absconding for the last 18 years or so. So how is it that Al-Falah is becoming the nerve center of so many people who are part of a terror module? Indian Mujahideen connection, this doctor module connection, also the background checks literally not being done by Al-Falah. We've earlier reported that Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Shaheen, they've all been associated with this university. How was Dr. Shaheen employed even when Kanpur University had dismissed her and raised questions about her conduct? Why was no background check done? This Indian Mujahideen operative, as per the Delhi Police dossier, had not managed to clear his class 9th exam, but subsequently he got BTech degree there. So some academics are also wondering that usually for a BTech degree you have to be one of the better performers as far as academic record is concerned. So I mean, there are questions which investigators would want Al-Falah's administration to answer. Their biggest worry is that did the overground worker or did the sleeper cell network of Indian Mujahideen get reactivated when this doctor's module was being put in place by Jaish-e-Mohammed?
And that's really the worry, Arunima, isn't it? That even as the lens continues to be on the Al-Falah University, if there is, the agencies also worry that there could be a larger radicalization risk as well if a lot of these doctors who are still studying or working at the Al-Falah University are suddenly found at the receiving end of not being able to practice or being completely out of their degree and their jobs.
See, there are two approaches currently, two worries. One, that the entire Al-Falah alumni and Al-Falah current student community will get painted with the same brush, and it will be a question on their future as well, even though they have nothing wrong or no connection with this module. The other worry is whether there are still people associated with Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Umar, who have not been put under scanner. What if they go underground? We know that at least 10 students from Al-Falah are under scanner, 3 of them from Kashmir. Investigators are trying to ascertain their whereabouts, their identity, but so far have not managed to pin them down. So what if there are other members of this community who were radicalized, indoctrinated, and who are still missing in action? If they go underground, then that's a ticking time bomb as well.
Absolutely. So all of that needs to be looked into, Ananya, which is also why the NIA has got this 10-day custody. The custodial interrogation is going to be extremely important of these 4 individuals. In fact, these visuals coming in are from the court, I believe, where the accused have now been remanded to NIA custody for the next 10 days. The custodial interrogation is going to be extremely crucial. And Ananya, we are learning that all 4 of them, now that they are in NIA custody, will sometime be confronted with each other as well to corroborate the claims that they have made.
Well, absolutely. This is a general practice of investigation that's carried out, and since now there are, these 4 people along with the 2 more arrests that NIA had already made, because Jasir and Amir are already in fact, the NIA's custody. So all of them might be confronted with each other to get to know that particular sinister plan that these white-collar terror module was actually planning to hatch. And not only that, they might be taken out of the national capital, just like we remember Amir's police custody remand showed how he needed to be taken to Kashmir. It was explicitly mentioned in that particular remand note, and similar could be the things for Jashir and the people as well. So very clearly this Imam also is somebody who remains to be one of those who have indoctrinated these people. So he might be taken to that particular mosque. He would be there could be details that could be sought from him as well. So very clearly these 10 days of police custody remand would be very, very crucial for the investigation agency. And when they come back to the court the next time, then the sinister plan or the sinister plot could actually come to light as to what was the actual plan that was at play, though the timely intervention of the investigation agencies, the Jammu Kashmir Police, the Special Cell of the National Capital, or in fact the National Investigation Agency as well, averted a bigger thing to happen from occurring at that particular point of time.
Absolutely. And Arunima, as far as the investigation goes, there are several arrests that have been made from different parts of the country, from Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. At least these 3 states is where the NIA now knows that this particular cell or this particular module was working out of. Have they been able to trace any further links outside of these 3 states?
See, 6 people have been arrested so far by NIA. NIA has confirmed 6 arrests, but there are other agencies at work as well. This entire module was exposed by Jammu and Kashmir Police, so they have taken a lead in understanding who are the module members, how they were working. The Haryana Police, because Al-Falah is in Faridabad, they are looking at Nuh and Mewat region especially, because there seems to be suspicion that Umar Nabi, when he escaped from Al-Falah, he went and lived in Nuh for some time. So Nuh is definitely under scanner. Was he living there simply because it was easy to find a rented accommodation, or were there people giving logistical support? I just mentioned to you that at least 10 students from Al-Falah are under scanner. Many others have been questioned and allowed to go home. There are people in Maharashtra too that we are told are being questioned. So it's a multi-state investigation and interrogation of these 4. NIA is hoping that after questioning Muzammil, Dr. Muzammil is believed to be the logistical bone of this module. So he's questioning Dr. Shaheen, who also got completely radicalized and is being seen as the women head of Jaish-e-Mohammed's white-collar module. So who all did she influence? Who are the other possible female members? And I would want to know. Dr. Adil moved to Saharanpur, we are told, after specific instructions from the handler. Who else did he meet in Saharanpur? So these are questions that they will be asked, because NIA's primary focus will be to A, understand who are the other module members, B, who was the handler, C, who was helping them with logistics, funding and explosives.
Right, Arunima and Ananya, thank you so much for getting us the latest on the investigation in the 10-11 blast case and what these loose ends are that the investigating agency is now tying together. But as far as the 10-11 blast goes, condemnation is pouring in from across the world. We've seen several world leaders that had spoken with the Prime Minister, that had taken to social media to condemn this particular attack and the loss of lives there. Bangladesh is the latest one to come out and condemn the Red Fort metro station blast. Bangladesh National Security Advisor has said, and I quote, that Bangladesh strongly and unequivocally condemns this horrific blast that struck the historic Red Fort in Delhi. We're deeply shocked and saddened by the tragic loss of precious lives. Akanksha, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details on this. Akanksha, we've had several other world leaders, several countries so far come out and condemn this kind of terror incident, but this condemnation coming in from Bangladesh and its NSA is significant as well.
Absolutely, and in fact these were the opening remarks of Khalilur Rahman, who is the Bangladesh NSA, and remember he is in the national capital for the Colombo Security Conclave. And in fact I'd like to read to our viewers the opening remarks. He says, as first of all, I join all in conveying our deepest condolences for the precious lives lost and many injured at the horrible blast in the Red Fort blast in Delhi. We condemn the heinous act. We have already conveyed to the government of India that Bangladesh stands shoulder to shoulder with our brothers and sisters in India at this distressful time. At the same time, he's also gone on to say that Bangladesh has consistently condemned terrorism. He's also gone on to say that we have a zero tolerance policy towards all forms. Now, taking that forward, Poonam, important to put that into perspective, that the NSA of Bangladesh, Khalilur Rahman, has also extended an invitation to his Indian counterpart, Ajit Doval. He's in fact gone on to invite him to Bangladesh. At the same time, when the meeting between both the NSAs took place, we are being made aware through inputs shared by Security Affairs Editor Manoj Gupta that even radicalism that's taking place as far as the Rohingyas are concerned, that had been shared. As far as maritime cooperation is concerned, that is going to be another security cooperation between India and Bangladesh. Now, particularly the timing of this condemnation coming in from Bangladesh after Sheikh Hasina's ICT verdict, remember the veracity of which not only has been questioned by Sheikh Hasina but also by India. In fact, the Indian side was very quick and prompt in conveying to the Bangladeshi side that India is very much within the diplomatic ambit of giving refuge to Sheikh Hasina, given that the ICT itself was created only to try those for the war crimes of the 1971 war. And so, can they be in a position to, convict Sheikh Hasina, that too in absentia? So, India has been very much in a position to question the veracity of that entire verdict. But more importantly, this meeting of the NSAs of India and Bangladesh is being seen as a positive development, a step in the right direction, because they've also spoken about intel sharing. Both the countries will be, and with that condemnation coming in from the Bangladesh NSA, we should see this as positive messaging coming in from Dhaka, that Dhaka is willing to cooperate when it comes to India's security concerns, when it comes to terror infrastructure that is being flagged off by our intel agencies, which are being supported by Bangladesh. Because remember, after Operation Sindoor, much of the intel inputs have suggested that there is this new axis of resistance that is now coming into the picture, which is, of course, Pakistan. You're looking at Turkey, you're looking at Bangladesh.
So given that situation, this kind of condemnation coming in from Bangladesh is extremely significant. For the moment, Akanksha, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Shifting focus now to the political blame game that is only intensifying over the special intensive revision exercise that is being conducted by the Election Commission. As far as West Bengal is concerned, the escalation comes after a booth-level officer engaged by the Election Commission for the ongoing voter list revision died by suicide on Wednesday in Jalpaiguri. Her family says that she was unable to cope with the work pressure. Now, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has written to the Chief Election Commissioner expressing strong objections to the manner in which this exercise is being conducted. She's gone on to say that the process is completely unplanned, chaotic, coercive, and has created severe pressure on block-level officers and the citizens of West Bengal. But the BJP has hit back sharply, accusing the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the TMC of indulging in vulture politics over the unfortunate deaths of BLOs. The party says that the state government is attempting to shift blame and politicize a sensitive issue.
अगर यहाँ पर है तो जेन्युइन नहीं होगा, क्योंकि अगर वो जेन्युइन नहीं होता तो बीएसएफ घुसने क्यों दिया? तो अगर जेन्युइन नहीं हुआ तो बीएसएफ घुसने क्यों दिया? तो अभी 2-4 तस्वीर दिखा के क्या साबित करना चाहता है? तो अगर वो जेन्युइन नहीं है तो वो इंडिया का धरती में, बंगाल का धरती में घुसा कैसे?
In a sharp political attack, the BJP has now hit out at Mamata Banerjee and the West Bengal government. BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya has put out a detailed statement on social media commenting on border security and politics that's brewing in West Bengal over the SIR exercise. Amit Malviya going on to say that India shares land borders with 7 countries, with the Bangladesh border being the longest. It's guarded entirely by the Border Security Force. He's alleged that despite this, West Bengal has witnessed the highest levels of illegal infiltration. He's put out, in fact, a report that CNN News 18 and my colleague Komalika had brought out for us from Hakimpur, which is one of the border areas between Bangladesh and West Bengal, where after the SIR exercise had begun, we had seen an influx of Bangladeshi immigrants who wanted to return. In that context, now the BJP hitting out at the Mamata Banerjee government, accusing it of its vote bank politics and for all this while sheltering illegal immigrants. Komalika is now with us, getting us more details on this. Komalika, it was your report that highlighted this particular issue at the Hakimpur border as well between India and Bangladesh in West Bengal. That's something that the BJP is also now citing to take aim at the TMC government.
Yeah, absolutely. This Hakimpur's issue has now become a political war of words between both Trinamool Congress and BJP. Now, the BJP is saying that this is the reason for which Mamata Banerjee does not want SIR to take place, because these are the infiltrators who have documents and they have voted for her. That's what the claim of BJP is. On the other hand, the Trinamool Congress is clearly questioning that who allowed all these people to actually get into India. This is BSF, for which this who guards the border. That is the claim of Trinamool Congress. Clearly, this is a war of words going on, and the BJP is saying that other states also SIR is taking place. There, no number of deaths are there. There, everything is going okay. What is there? What is the problem with Bengal? On the other hand, the Trinamool Congress is sticking to the point that this is the BSF who should have taken, who is responsible for.
They're getting us those details. The political war of words between the BJP and the TMC is only escalating, given that this SIR exercise is being conducted in the state of West Bengal just ahead of assembly elections, which are to be held in about 6 months from now. Let's listen into some more reactions that have poured in over this issue.
देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात है हमारी चीफ मिनिस्टर, वो तो हैबिचुएटेड लायर है, तो इसीलिए जब उन्होंने इस तरह की गलत इल्जाम देते हैं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ईसीआई को इन्वेस्टिगेट करना चाहिए उनके ही खिलाफ, क्योंकि हमारे देश में अभी 12 राज्यों में एसआईआर के काम चल रहा है. किसी भी राज्य में कोई ऐसी घटना की खबर नहीं है, लेकिन हमारे राज्य में हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर बार बार ये कोशिश कर रहा है कि एसआईआर को कैसे टाला जाए. अब बिहार में एसआईआर हो गया, वोट भी हो गया, नया सरकार भी आने वाला है, और झूठ मूठ की इस तरह की आरोप करने वाला बात हमारे सीएम की बहुत पहले दिन की ये आदत है.
For several days now, reports have circulated across Bengal that illegal infiltrators are trying to return to Bangladesh due to the fear of the state infiltration review. The SIR process is also going on as far as the electoral rolls go, and this seems to have created a fear among these illegals, is what is seen at this border. To verify what really is happening there, my colleague Komalika Sengupta travelled to Hakimpur checkpost, which is in the Basarhat border area. This is the report that she got us from there.
Ever since the SIR process was introduced, speculation has been rife that undocumented migrants are attempting to leave Bengal voluntarily. At the Hakimpur Basirhat checkpost, this claim appears to have some visible evidence. For the last 4 days, hundreds of people, mostly from Bangladesh, have been waiting here hoping to cross back.
We are standing in Hakimpur checkpost. This is the checkpost, and 1 kilometer from this is the actual Bangladesh border. And this is where all these people who now wants to go back to Bangladesh are sitting here. Some have come today, but most of them have come last 4 days. Most of them have come for a couple of days. Most of them have come 6 years, 4 years, 5 years back. Some have documents, some does not have documents, and that's why they are waiting. They want to go back. This type of picture definitely shows the why SIR was required.
Several individuals told us they do not have valid documents and going back to Bangladesh feels safer. Most of them said they had come to Bengal during the COVID-19 lockdown or in the years immediately after that. Many worked in areas such as Salt Lake, Newtown and Bakra.
আমাদের কাছে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম বলে আমাদের নেই কিছু তখন নেই তাহলে থাকতে পারবেন না না থাকতে পারলে আর কি করব চলে যাব বেরে আমরা বস্তিতে ছিলাম তাই সেই এখন বাড়িওয়ালারা বলছে কি তোমরা ঘর ছেড়ে চলে যাও ইনারসি হবে তোমাকে জীবন বাঁচাও তাই চলে গেছি
আমি ইসলাম রাত্রেবেলা ছিলাম তো অতটা সঠিকভাবে বলতে পারবো না আমার বাড়ির পাশ থেকে একজন আসছিল তার মাধ্যমে এসেছিলাম আমাদের এখানে কোনো বৈধ কাগজপত্র না থাকার কারণে আমাদের এলাকায় আমরা যেখানে থাকতাম সেখান থেকে আমাদের বলেছে আমাদের বাড়িতে ফিরে যেতে
Among those waiting is Rokeya Begum from Satkira, who came to Bengal during lockdown, and within few years not only does she possess a both voter card and Aadhaar, she is also receiving benefits of government schemes like Lakshmir Bhandar.
আর ভোটার আইডি কার্ড আছে হ্যাঁ কতদিন আগে তুমি এসছো এখানে
লকডাউনের আগে
কোথায় থাকতে এখানে আধার কার্ড ছিল দিদি
হ্যাঁ আধার কার্ড ভোটার কার্ড ছিল
ভোট দিয়েছো হ্যাঁ ভোটও দিয়েছো So this is Rokeya. She is saying that she has come from Satkira before lockdown. She is claiming that she has voter card, she has Aadhaar card. She does not have name in 2002. Most importantly, she is also saying that she has Lakshmir Bhandar. So that, and she has also casted vote. This picture says it all, says everything about infiltration. That is the big question which can be raised from this place. This is Komalika Sengupta with Anshuman Roy reporting for CNN News 18 from Hakimpur Checkpost.
India's young athletes inspire, but only one rising star can stand invincible. And the nominations for the Indian of the Year 2025 Rising Sports Star are Silchi Phogat, Kush Maini, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Pooja Singh, Divya Deshmukh. Who will be the Rising Sports Star of the Year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18 Indian of the Year. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody. As I just told you, the founder of the Al Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So that is a threat that remains. However, the owner has been sent into 13 days custody and that remains imperative. He is a very, very crucial link here. As you know, Al Falah was truly at the center of all the terror that was emerging from this university, and we're yet to uncover what was really going on behind the scenes. For more on this, we have with us Ananya. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. We really are learning more and more about this Al Falah University. It only goes to show how far and wide this entire network had spread.
Well, absolutely. In fact, this is a big breakthrough that the Enforcement Directorate had as far as the funding of the Al Falah University is concerned. And the Al Falah Trust owner was actually taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday. And a 13-day police custody remand was granted after he was produced late last night before, in fact, the additional sessions judge at the Saket Court. And very important to highlight is that the court has noted that not only his family members are in the Gulf, but there is a big risk that he might flee the country. And that's the reason why custodial interrogation is necessary. Not only that, a small chunk, the Enforcement Directorate says and tells the court that a small chunk of the Al Falah ecosystem, which amounts to over 415 crores, is something, that has been uncovered, and it could be much larger in nature, and that is why his custodial interrogation is necessary, since he's somebody who knows about all the financial roots of the Al Falah Trust and the kind of funding that comes through the Al Falah University. And that's the reason why, in fact, this particular person needs to be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. 13 days of police custody remand is what has been granted. 14 days was actually sought. And that is something, that makes it very, very imperative as to what was this university actually in reality. Was it, in fact, a terror funding ecosystem? Was it a university that was fueling terror, or whether there are much more than what meets the eye, is something that could be uncovered by this multi-agency probe that is being carried out by, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate, the National Investigation Agency, and obviously the Faridabad and the Delhi police itself.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nation at 5. You're watching this broadcast with me, Poonam Burde. Let's get you some breaking news that's now coming in. This is a statement on the arrest of gangster Anmol Bishnoi. The US Embassy in India has now applauded the action, highlighting the strong partnership between the United States and the Indian security agencies. The embassy has said, and I quote, that we appreciate our ongoing partnership as we work together to dismantle terror-associated networks and hold criminals accountable. Remember, Anmol Bishnoi was deported from the United States to India yesterday. He is granted custody to the NIA now, which is looking at the larger nexus of Anmol Bishnoi and of his brother Lawrence Bishnoi, who is already in a jail in India, and the terror network that they functioned in, how they operated, what the modus operandi was. All of that will now be unearthed by the National Investigating Agency. Akanksha, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details. Akanksha, the US Embassy in India there also underscoring our shared commitment of the two countries as far as fighting and dismantling terror networks are concerned.
Absolutely, Poonam. In fact, that tweet sent out by the US Embassy in India speaks 1,000 words, because they've in fact responded to the NIA press release that was put out yesterday, on which they have also tagged the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, critics have also been questioned if this was a part of the larger plan under the current Trump administration, where he's ensuring that all the criminals are in fact deported from the United States. But most importantly, who is Anmol Bishnoi? Anmol Bishnoi was somebody who was orchestrating not just extortion, but even smuggling of weapons, also masterminding allegedly violent plots, whether it is the killing of Sidhu Moosewala or even the killing of the NCP leader Baba Siddiqui, even the firing outside Salman Khan's residence. So this is also being viewed as a diplomatic win between New Delhi and Washington. We all know that Anmol Bishnoi was orchestrating all of that from the US soil. It was in the year 2022 that he had crossed over to the United States, and he was taken into custody from Sacramento ever since he had been sent off to the prison cell. But this is also being seen as a diplomatic win. Why? Because it will help India to dismantle the terror networks or even organized crime networks that were being masterminded by Anmol Bishnoi, whether it was from US, Canada, even Pakistan, and you're looking at the likes of Italy.
On that front, it is a shot in the arm as far as the investigation goes. We will have to look as to where this goes as far as Anmol Bishnoi and the role of the Bishnoi gang in these trans-international terror networks goes. Shifting focus now, though, to what's happening back home here and delivering its advisory opinion on the presidential reference, the Supreme Court rejected the idea of deemed assent, holding that automatically treating a bill as approved after a certain period is contrary to the Constitution's design and undermines legislative checks and balances. The Supreme Court ruled that governors cannot withhold state bills indefinitely, but also made it clear that the judiciary cannot prescribe fixed timelines for granting assent, saying that doing so would violate the doctrine of separation of powers.
So if any bill is passed by the cabinet, which means it has legitimacy from the people of Tamil Nadu, 8.4 crore people who have elected the government, in this case DMK government. Governor is nothing but an appointee. So how can an appointee who has no legitimacy from the people sit on a bill indefinitely? What does indefinitely mean? Indefinitely means if you are sitting on a bill for 2 years, which means that a bill which people want, and if a governor sits on it for 2 years, which means the people are not able to get the basic services, which goes contrary to the concept of democracy, where what people want is supreme. So we legislate for the people. So when a governor says no, I will not forward this, and sits on it indefinitely, which means that it is travesty to democracy, and that is why it's a welcome move.
Ananya now joins us, getting us more details. Ananya, what has transpired in the Supreme Court today? We, of course, are putting out the key takeaways of what exactly happened. But this is a case that has been going on for a long time. The Tamil Nadu government had approached the Supreme Court over several bills that didn't get the nod from Governor R.N. Ravi for the longest time. But the court has made it very clear that they cannot fix any such timelines for governors or for the president for its assent.
Well, absolutely. The Tamil Nadu's case was actually decided on April 8th.
this year, and a judgment was passed wherein timelines were fixed for the governors and in fact the President of India to act on the bills. However, after that verdict, in fact, the President of India, exercising his special powers under Article 143(1) of the Constitution of India, had sent 14 questions of law to the Supreme Court, in fact to the Chief Justice of India, seeking a legal opinion on the same. And in an advisory jurisdiction, the Supreme Court has today rendered a verdict, that goes on to very categorically suggest that, not only the timeline for the governors cannot be fixed, but also, in fact, all of these constitutional authorities have to function interdependently, and hence a timeline cannot be set for the governor. In fact, it has also gone on to say that a deemed assent, which basically means that, if at all the governor does not pass a particular bill, does not withhold it, or, does not exercise the options given under Article 200 or 201, then it was argued by Tamil Nadu and various other states that the bill should be deemed to be, assented to and should be passed, is what the argument was. But the Supreme Court turning it down, saying that such a scheme does not exist in the Indian Constitution, hence it cannot be allowed for. Not only that, it has also gone on to say that though a timeline for the governors and president cannot be fixed, but definitely if at all there is a prolonged delay by the governor, then a mandamus can be issued to the governor by the courts. A limited intervention is something that has been allowed. However, it cannot actually prescribe a timeline so as to give an assent or to exercise the options under Article 200 and 201 are concerned.
Right, Ananya, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Moving on now, a 16-year-old boy from a top private school in Delhi died by suicide this Wednesday, jumping before a moving metro train. The deceased father says his son faced months of mental harassment from teachers at a school who humiliated him for being mischievous, even threatened with expulsion when the family tried to change schools. 2 days before his death, he fell during a dramatics class, was accused of doing it on purpose, and a teacher told him, "Don't do this drama of crying, it doesn't matter to me." A suicide note has now been recovered in which the victim has named the teachers, apologized to his parents and his family members, and asked for strict action against those he has named so as to no other child suffers from the same humiliation at the school.
इंसिडेंट से पहले क्या चल रहा था स्कूल में? आपकी उनसे कुछ बात हुई थी?
मैम, पिछले 3-4 महीने से इसको या 6 महीने से इसको बहुत दिक्कत चल रही थी स्कूल से। मुझे इसने 3 महीना पहले बताया भी था, तो मैं स्कूल में गया भी था। नेक्स्ट मीटिंग में ये बोला था कि ये शरारत करता है, चुटकुले सुनाता है बच्चों को और मतलब कॉमेडी करता है। तो मैंने इनको बोला था कि बच्चा है तो शरारत करेगा ही, और हम भी इसीलिए स्कूल में भेजते हैं कि वो एक्टिव बने, क्योंकि बच्चा पेरेंट्स के पास होता कितना है। हम जैसे बिजनेस करते हैं, रात को 8 बजे आते हैं तो रात 2-3 घंटा हमारे पास होता है, बाकी तो पूरा दिन स्कूल के पास ही होता है जी। लेकिन उसके बाद भी उन्होंने कंटिन्यू रखा। 4 दिन पहले उसको टीचर ने बोला कि हम आपको टीसी देंगे, पेरेंट्स को बुला के। अब मैम 10th क्लास का बच्चा है, प्री बोर्ड के एग्जाम चालू होने वाले 8-10 दिन में। मैंने बच्चे को ये भी समझा दिया कि बेटा अभी ये साल निकाल दे, हफ्ता 10 दिन, उसके बाद हम स्कूल चेंज कर लेंगे। लेकिन उसके बाद भी कल जो इंसिडेंट हुआ, और ये सारे मैडम के सामने हुआ, युक्ति महाजन जी हो या वो परेरा हो, जो भी मैडम थी, प्रिंसिपल मैडम थी, तो उन्होंने भी कुछ नहीं बोला। तो इसका पैर फिसला प्रैक्टिस के टाइम, तो बोलती है जानबूझ के तू कर रहा है, ड्रामा कर रहा है, ओवर एक्टिंग कर रहा है। ये रोने
जब हमने ग्रुप में मैसेज पढ़ा कि 10th स्टैंडर्ड के बच्चे सूर्य के साथ ऐसा हुआ है, तो वी बोथ आर वेरी स्कैर्ड, क्योंकि मैम हमारा बेटा भी आके कई बार कंप्लेंट्स करते हैं कि टीचर्स उसको हैरेसमेंट करते हैं, लेकिन हम लोग इग्नोर कर देते हैं कि नहीं चलो बेटे की गलती होगी या फिर कुछ भी करके। हमने कई बार सोचा कि चलो हम स्कूल में जाके बात करते हैं, लेकिन जब भी हम पीटीएम में आते हैं, पेरेंट टीचर्स हमें ऑलरेडी पहले ही बच्चे की कंप्लेंट शुरू कर देते हैं, बेटा ये है, बेटा वो करता है, टॉकेटिव है, शैतानियां करता है, ऐसे करता है। तो हम लोग सोचे चलो हमारा बेटा गलत होगा, लेकिन आज जब कल हमने ये सुना तो मैम उसके बाद हमें ये लगता है कि नहीं, हमें पेरेंट्स की भी गलती है कि हम लोग अपने बच्चों को सीरियस नहीं लेते। हम ये सोचते हैं कि नहीं हमारा बेटा इतने हाई स्टैंडर्ड स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है, तो शायद मे बी ही इज रॉन्ग।
मेरा बच्चा स्कूल में है, वो क्लास 6 में पढ़ता है, तो उसने कल घर आके मुझे बताया था कि ऐसा ऐसा मम्मा इंसिडेंट हुआ। तो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे बच्चे के साथ भी ये हो सकता है। तो मैं सोच रही हूँ इस बच्चे ने कितना झेला होगा, कितना उसने टॉर्चर सहा होगा कि इसने इतना एक्सट्रीम कदम लिया है। मैं ये भी सोच रही हूँ उस माँ बाप पर क्या गुजर रही होगी जिसका जवान बेटा ऐसे कूदकर उसने जान ले लिया है। और उसने ये भी लिखा है कि लेटर पर हमें मिला है सुसाइड नोट में से ये भी लिखा है कि मैं अपनी जान दे रहा हूँ, मैं ये वेस्ट नहीं जाना चाहता है। मैं चाहता हूँ कि जो दूसरे बच्चे मेरे पीछे हैं वो ये सब सफ़र ना करें, दे शुड नॉट गो थ्रू व्हाट आई हैव गॉन थ्रू।
Unfortunate instance there coming from the national capital. We'll keep an eye out on what the investigation spells out, or when the school there in Delhi comes out with a response. But for now, it's time for a quick break on this edition of Nation at 5.
They reinvent the rules and inspire the next generation. But only one youth icon can stand invincible. And the nominations for the youth icon are Ananya Pandey, Rishabh Sharma, Ishan Khattar, Zakir Khan, Lieutenant Commander Rupa A and Lieutenant Commander Dilna K. Who will be the youth icon of the year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18 Indian of the Year. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. A lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. The founder of the Al Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So that is a threat that remains. However, the owner has been sent into 13 days custody and that remains imperative. He is a very, very crucial link here. As you know, Al Falah was truly at the center of all the terror that was emerging from this university, and we're yet to uncover what was really going on behind the scenes. For more on this, we have with us Ananya. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. We really are learning more and more about this Al Falah University. It only goes to show how far and wide this entire network had spread.
Well, absolutely. In fact, this is a big breakthrough that the Enforcement Directorate had as far as the funding of the Al Falah University is concerned. And the Al Falah Trust's owner was actually taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday, and a 13-day police custody remand was granted after he was produced late last night before, in fact, the additional sessions judge at the Saket Court. And very important to highlight is that the court has noted that not only his family members are in the Gulf, but there is a big risk that he might flee the country, and that's the reason why custodial interrogation is necessary. Not only that, a small chunk, the Enforcement Directorate says and tells the court that a small chunk of the Al-Falah ecosystem, which amounts to over 415 crores, is something, that has been uncovered, and it could be much larger in nature, and that is why his custodial interrogation is necessary, since he's somebody who knows about all the financial roots of the Al-Falah Trust and the kind of funding that comes through the Al-Falah University. And that's the reason why, in fact, this particular person needs to be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. 13 days of police custody remand is what has been granted. 14 days was actually sought. And that is something, that makes it very, very imperative as to what was this university actually in reality. Was it, in fact, a terror funding ecosystem? Was it, a university that was fueling terror, or whether there are much more than what meets the eye, something that could be uncovered by this multi-agency probe that is being carried out by, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate, the National Investigation Agency, and obviously the Faridabad and the Delhi Police itself.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Un Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al-Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al-Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al-Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. The founder of the Al-Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al-Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED submission that only a small part of Al-Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So that is a threat that remains. However, the owner has been sent into 13 days custody and that remains imperative. He is a very, very crucial link here. As you know, Al-Falah was truly at the center of all the terror that was emerging from this university, and we're yet to uncover what was really going on behind the scenes. For more on this, we have with us Ananya. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. We really are learning more and more about this Al-Falah University. It only goes to show how far and wide this entire network had spread.
Well, absolutely. In fact, this is a big breakthrough that
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nation at Fire. And we also would like to thank you here on CNN News 18 for reposing your trust in us and our coverage. It was election week last week when Bihar announced its historic verdict. India chose CNN News 18 as their destination. When the Delhi blast shook the nation last week, India reposed its faith in us for the latest and the most accurate updates. And we will continue to be that voice of reason for you. CNN News 18 will remain way ahead of its competitors, all thanks to our viewers.
This was an important week because the Bihar election results were coming out this week. Also, the Delhi blasts happened to be on the same week, and it's a hugely important milestone for us here at CNN News 18. The fact that such two big news events have happened in the same week, and we have managed to increase both our channel share and also the number of people who are watching us, the amount of time that they are watching us. It's been incredible. It's been, once again, the viewers across India, the length and breadth of this country, reposing their faith in India's #1 news channel, CNN News 18. We've been #1 now for well over 3 years, well over 150, maybe close to 200 weeks. But this week was critically important because of those two events. One was a planned one, which was the Bihar election exit polls as well as the counting day results. But the other one was an unplanned one, which was the Delhi blast, which happened on Monday last. So both of those major news events, India has tuned in to CNN News 18. It's an extremely proud moment for all of us here at Team CNN News 18. And we want to thank all our viewers who have tuned in to this very, very important news week on India's #1 news channel, that is CNN News 18. I want to extend my thanks to all our viewers from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat all the way to Assam and the rest of the Northeast. They've all tuned in. They've increased not just the amount that they watch CNN News 18, but also the geographical spread that we have of CNN News 18. And I think this is an important milestone for us. It was an important election week. And I think this is what keeps all of us going. This is what is important to all of us, that when it comes to important news events, planned or unplanned, we had a planned event, which was an election. We had an unplanned event, which was unfortunately a terror attack. But when it comes to big news events that India cares about, that Indian viewers care about, they tune in to one news destination, which is CNN News 18. So once again, I want to thank all our viewers from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Dibrugarh all the way to Porbandar for tuning in to India's #1 English news channel, which is CNN News 18. You have reposed your faith, your trust in us. And I, as the editor of this channel, would want to thank all our viewers for reposing once again your faith when it comes to India's biggest news stories. There is only one place to tune into, and that is CNN News 18. So thank you, viewers, once again. Well, I think this week gone by is an illustration in itself. Like I said, one was a planned event, which was election results. We all knew that it was coming out on the 14th, and we were way ahead of all the other channels when it comes to the election numbers, simply because of the live result hub. We're the only English news channel, we're the only network, in fact, which has its own election call center, as it were. So all the 243 constituencies in Bihar, we had hundreds of reporters in each of those counting centers. They directly called our live result hub and reported what the results were even before the Election Commission could update on its website or on its other social media feeds. So that was a big advantage that we've had for the last 10 years, and it got exemplified in the Bihar election results. So that's a planned event for which a large majority of India tuned into CNN News 18. The other one, like I said, was a very, very unfortunate one which happened on Monday last, which was the Delhi terror blast that happened. It was the first time in over 10 years that there was a major terror attack in the national capital. The last time that happened was in 2011. And the fact that a majority of India, a large majority of India, tuned into CNN News 18 because we have the kind of ground coverage, the kind of presence of reporters, the kind of extensive scale that we have compared to any other news network in India. So people, our viewers, reposing their trust and faith in both planned and unplanned news events. I think it's a testimony to CNN News 18's brand of journalism, its brand of, just putting our credibility on the line, just putting our trust and faith that the viewers have in us on the line, and saying that if anything big happens in India, any nook or corner of India, CNN News 18 is the destination that you have to tune into, whether it is a planned event or an unplanned event. I think the week gone by is a testimony to the fact that CNN News 18 is the #1 and most trusted choice when it comes to viewers across the length and breadth of India. And we want to thank our viewers once again. I, as a representative of more than 300-400 people who work in the newsroom, many of whom are, glorious warriors whose faces you don't see, whose names you don't know, but I want to be the representative of all of them and thank every one of our viewers for tuning in and reposing your faith and trust in India's #1 news channel. And that's been once again reinforced in this week gone by, which has been a very, very heavy news week. And these are the kind of news weeks that all of us as journalists live and die for. This is what we are trained for, this is what we believe in, and this is what we, have achieved in this week gone by. And I want to thank once again all our viewers across the length and breadth of this country for reposing their trust and faith in India's #1 news channel, CNN News 18.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The SIR exercise that's underway now across 12 states and union territories has entered a decisive phase. One that's marked by the confidence of the Election Commission on one side and the political unease on the other. The Congress party has been one of the loudest critics, repeatedly labeling the SIR as a vehicle for vote chori. Next in line is Trinamool Congress. Leading the charge is none other than Mamata Banerjee, who has sharpened the critique further, alleging that the environment created by the SIR has already had severe human consequences, even ending in deaths. In Tamil Nadu, Stalin government has rejected the exercise, calling it an attempt to delete non-BJP voters. Kerala too has jumped on to the bandwagon and has gone to court. Now, despite the court not stopping the exercise and the process completing smoothly in Bihar, the questions being raised are virtually the same, from timing to feasibility to intention. The big question that remains is it a fair opposition to SIR anymore? Is the criticism constructive or just